So what's been going on the last couple of weeks?
Working, raising kids, not surfing.
Not surfing. Kids have spring break?
Yeah, they were off all week last week. My wife had them. Ooh. My wife has all 3 kids every day. I walk through the door, she goes, "They're yours."
See, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, you ran on tiki, you go right down here and buy another chunk. Forget that.
Yeah.
That's over. We just don't want that king plank going, look like a Navajo rug, you know?
No, you want to be.
Which I like, but not on decks. By golly, it's 1 o'clock. Say, Doc, does that look swollen?
Well, we can talk briefly about what you're doing here.
Well, this is our last. We got 2 planks about this long into this. Well, we're going to do this. It seemed like a lot of trouble, but last time we got to do this, folks.
This is the last time we have to do.
The rabbit.
Oh, on these
Well, we could do it with the router, but we don't have the materials. So you got to be careful. It's just enough. Where? There you go. Now, see, this has a curve. I selected it for that because
Has a little curve?
yeah, because up on that foredeck, these planks get real short. Hard to bend when they're not short. Because these have a curve on them,
Okay. Slight curve on the grain.
on the plank.
On the plank. Okay.
Selected them for that reason. We can't put the rabbit on this side on the table saw. You see how the fence is straight? It would make the rabbit come out. See it there?
Yeah.
So we have to do that with the router.
Okay.
It's too long. Jazz. Just do it like this. I can't fucking see.
Sample of your stool.
This is a sample stool.
So what's going on here that
Well, remember,
you guys are struggling with here?
no, we're not struggling. We're just, this is so, remember, the short little fuckers will kick your ass every time. Give me an 18-foot plank, you just bend it on there and drill it. It's the little ones.
Don't need much.
How's the seam look?
Perfect.
All right. Yeah, just. Done. All right. Boy, look at that nib. So this goes out. So we'll go from here all the way to there. I think I can make this work if I could only see. Actual nib will be here. Ooh, let's get over there. Murphy's Law. It's a straight line, so we can project it. Okay, so we have a screw here. I guess we're gonna have to put a little one there. Ooh. Want to drill those over there, Clint?
You good?
Yeah, get this shit off of here. That little bit loads up. Go back a little bit.
This way?
No, back. Move it. Right there. Yep. A little deeper.
One more small one.
Yeah. Yep. Right. Kind of in the center of the beam. And then slightly angled. Yep. There you go. A little deeper. Tiny bit. Well, denatured alcohol,
Yeah.
when you're cleaning up epoxy and other stuff,
Yeah.
is good because it's not so bad on the human.
Okay, good.
Acetone is for when you're getting really serious about removing stuff. And of course you're wearing gloves then, but
The alcohol seems to get the stickiness.
yeah, because you get,
Leave it sticky sometimes.
yeah, like what we're doing here is we're putting a plank in, gluing it down, and then just putting another one in. So there's gonna be a little bit of glue left over. It always gets on there, so you wanna wipe it off to keep it off you and the tools.
Just mixing up some West systems here.
Okay.
Just still good from our last batch here, so.
This is to glue down that plank.
Yeah.
That he's going to cut that. All right,
So he's
we've
gonna go
been through
cut it.
this before. We've seen
Did
you
we go
cook
through
up
this?
this stuff before. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful stuff.
All right. Well, we're going to go take a look at all this great work that you've done. Anything that challenged you this last week here on the deck? Now that it's all
Just tying everything in, making sure everything tied back together.
in the rear, in the stern.
Yeah, everything just flows, and all our measurements were correct as far as width and stuff. And
Right.
yeah, it's tied
You haven't
nicely.
started any sanding on the deck, though, have you?
No, not yet.
No.
We're gonna get some plugs in before we
You got to
do
get the plugs in.
a little bit of, not a real sand, but
Yeah.
get them close.
All right.
And then the caulking before the sanding.
You have some plugs cut, I understand.
Oh yeah.
Have you put any in yet?
Not yet. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow you're going to start
Tomorrow,
plugging?
yeah, tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Because we want to knock them off before they harden up super hard. So do it in the morning, and it's getting warm out now. So mid morning, early afternoon, they should be ready to knock off.
Well, maybe you guys will give us a demonstration of one today. We'll see if we can talk Doug into one.
Talk to the boss.
Since you've already cut a couple.
I cut a few.
He said 500.
Whatever's in that bucket right there.
And then the final thing, of course, is I always get these backwards, is to bang them in. Let me have that block. Some more. There's the tiniest little curve on these because they're so short, but you still have to induce that. Yes. There it is. Ah, 10-4. Now here we are on the stern deck. Okay, these planks are all cut on the same curve as the margin board and rabbited. And the way this is laid out, this is the last nib, so the margin board comes to kind of like an arrowhead.
Yeah, beautiful.
Attractive. Slightly widens as it goes forward. These get trimmed off flush to the hatch opening. The hatch has a rabbet, so you don't see the plank edges when it's in.
Okay.
And then this is here. The mizzen ring goes around that eventually, so you don't really see much there.
So these, installing the hatch cover here and those little bits, that'll be what you're working on over the next few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we still got to plug all this, caulk it, and sand it.
Caulk it, yeah.
And sand it. Sand it's not going to happen in one day.
No.
Yeah.
But you caulk it first and then sand it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
What you do is you normally caulk it, let it sit week, 2 weeks. You don't, because you can walk on it. It's cured.
Yeah.
It's sticking up about 1/16 to an 1/8. Looks kind of messy. And then you just let it cure. And then when it's time to trim it, you just take a real, this is a putty knife, but you just lay a sharp chisel on the deck and slice it. You end up with these 50-foot long worms.
Okay.
And then these planks are all cut off here, flush. Need to be dressed up a little bit. There's a piece of teak goes here, here, and here, and in the hatch. And this piece here that's notched around these two bolts that support the combing, that piece came in from here, from outside here.
So, yeah, we got it here as well, right?
Yeah, twins on both sides. Up until about the 8th course, we'd go back and forth, do one course per side, back and forth, because our material usage was right on the edge. So this plank runs all the way to the stern, about 12 feet. These we just butted in here, screwed and glued, because the winch pad covers these.
Gotcha.
And it also covers this tapered piece. So we're able to take advantage of the winch pad to pick up some length to catch our long plank. Same here, winch pad here.
Right, beautiful.
And so it'll emerge this plank, you'll see it about that wide, about 2 inches wide. Then on number 9, course 9, number 10 rather, we had an issue here because this distance was a 1/4 inch greater than it is up forward.
Okay.
So we had to make this plank with a notch in it to pick up that distance. And the rest of it's pretty straightforward. These planks are not sprung in, these are sawn to shape
Okay.
using patterns and spiling blocks. And Everything else is pretty straightforward on the planking. Till we get up here, here's another nib.
What was going on here? I see a little piece right there.
Oh, I just got to clean it up.
That's just a
Another nib here. Another nib here.
What do you mean by nib?
Well, this little notch piece.
Oh yeah, they're all the way.
See, this
I
plank
see.
goes from
Right.
about 3/4 wide to 2 inches back here. So getting this transition right. See, this is a straight line on the boat,
Okay.
but when you bend the plank in, it actually has a little frown in it when you scribe it. So you have to cut that so that when you do bend it, it becomes a straight line again.
Gotcha. Right, doesn't necessarily bend at the same degree that the boat is bending.
Well,
Right.
that, and like I say, when they cut these are, except for number 11, which is a curve,
Right.
these nibs are all pretty much a straight line.
Oh, that's great.
So you can't just cut the straight line on the plank. If you cut this line, let's say you made a pattern of from here to there, and as soon as you bent the plank, this would no longer fit. It'd be a hump in the middle here.
Gotcha.
So you have to put this plank out here, clamp it in place, and then scribe this line to it while it's bent. Because when you unbend it, it gets a smile in it. And when you get it all prepped and you bend it back in, that turns back into a straight line, even though this edge is curved. Sprung to the shear is the name of that. This is the shear.
Okay.
So the planks are sprung to match the shear.
Okay.
Another rabbit here.
Sprung to the shear.
That's number 9. Number 10, another rabbit here. We had to do a little bit of work on this here to make sure that this side was the same as the port side. And then this plank here is tapered to match this distance
Oh, beautiful.
to here. So it's the same width as this plank. And then this plank,
But it starts out a little bit wider.
A little bit wider.
A little tiny bit wider to match that.
to match that, because you don't want this plank notched because it would go to a feather back in that corner.
Okay.
Then it's kind of how the old one went. It really didn't look very good.
Okay.
And this you don't notice, and if you do, it's kind of cool looking, I think.
Yeah, the fact that it comes right off that looks beautiful.
Right, and if you come up to the bow and look at it, now you can see it, where it goes into that, we call it peninsula.
Okay. Perfect.
So these two planks were oddballs. They took almost an entire day to make, fit, drill, shape, and glue. Plus the layout here in the windlass area was what we finished figuring out yesterday.
Well, I see the ones that you were describing, they're double tapered. They're tapered on one
Right.
side, on the other.
Yep. Now see here, the windlass is offset, so you won't see this nib. This will be buried.
Okay.
You'll only see this much of that one.
I see.
So we didn't care what this angle was. What we cared about was not having any gaps in here. So we cut them at this angle so that the margin board has some parallel sides here. So when it sits down, the margin board comes in here. So when the windlass is installed, it's got full compression on all this. These that emerge out from behind underneath the windlass, you see how they have a proper looking nib on them?
Okay.
It'll be a eyeball thing. Because this is about 7 inches or so from here to here.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It'll act like a nib
Right,
because it'll be sticking out.
Yes.
It sticks out.
you'll never see it. And then because the margin board will be in 2 pieces. It's gonna stop here. And it's gonna start up again here.
Okay, right.
So it's gonna come in here and fit into this oddball,
Now the margin board being the king plank.
or king plank.
Caught him on one.
I knew that.
Rewind.
It's Tuesday.
Pieces that did not make the grade for one reason or another.
Pieces that just, they're too wide, they're too skinny, they're too swirly.
You were trying with some of these. I see you cut rabbits in a lot of them.
Well, like, for instance, this one here, It was probably 12, 13 feet long, but it had a knot there.
Yeah.
So we used a good part, and we saved this in case we get a short plank. And see that, don't forget, all these planks aren't the same width.
Right.
They vary to pick up the correct distance. For instance, see this plank has a rabbet on one side, and this one has a rabbet on two sides. This was like course number 9 or 7 on the deck. It's 2 inches wide or more, but it has a rabbet on each side to swap the rabbets when you go into the foredeck. All the rabbets were on the outboard edges. Then when we got to number 9, it needed a rabbet on both sides. So we made the plank 2 inches wide. So it appears to be the same width as the others. See what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is a chunk left over from number 7. Stuff like that. And then some of it, like I say, it looks great until you rip it. All of a sudden you go, whoa, there's a knot. Or a swirl. Damn tape measure.
Well, hey, at least we had enough. We didn't need more. Anything to do with this construction project?
Well, no, this here is a chunk we have left over. Remember that piece we had that was vertical?
That one you split.
That we split?
Yeah.
Look at that. We need a 9-inch change. This one's 20. And we can make it as wide as we want for now.
This is for the last piece that you need?
Yeah, so we want to lay it up there and see what it looks like.
Okay.
Because if it has to be 2.5, we don't care. I want to get this part if we can, I think. No, this is good.
How do you know what angle here to flare the?
15 degrees, can you believe it?
It's exact. All the rear, all the.
It's a miracle. Yeah, it's 15 degrees. Now,
Happen to come out to be an even number, or is that just the way it was?
it just happened to be.
Okay. Easy to remember.
Yeah. We're going to take this up and look at it. See how there's no rabbet on any of these? See how the nibs don't have a rabbet?
Okay.
That's because the king plank's going to be rabbeted.
Okay. Gotcha.
So it'll come, the rabbet will come in like this. You see how those join up nicely there?
That's nice. Yeah.
So because we have a rabbet on both sides of this one, you have to bring this out to here. Give me a little chunk there, Clint. And then bring one here so that they, see how you move it like this?
Okay. Yeah.
So when you get at that point right there where you really love it, that's where your nib has to go.
What do you need?
A tape measure.
I told you needed it.
No, it's up here.
There.
Ah,
A snake it would have bit.
Said you sure you didn't need one?
I can't see. Ooh, close. So in theory, that would be cut off square. Do we have enough material? 9 3/4. 10.5.
Just enough.
Might work.
Well, gotta go to church Sunday. So now you can see, here's our 2 lines. I just marked those for the king plank. So, yeah, this will work. So if we got 5/8 or so with a nib, a little further. That would look. Here's what we'll do. We go 5/8. Oh, a little more than that. Straight towards here. You see, because that line continues up through there. So if we go straight towards that, to a point somewhere in here, and then straight into the deck or the cabin, I think we should be okay. Let's try that. That little square.
Then you say you want it to be 7 inches long, right?
Yeah, there it is. Well, that's an arbitrary thing, but yeah.
790 on it.
Hang on, I went the wrong way. Sorry. Sorry. So if we go like this, that's better. Ooh, I like that a lot. See what I mean? That looks a lot better than if we just let that flare out. See what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because if it went out to a nib and then back again, you'd have that little...
Like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, you'd have that little corner in there that was really stupid looking. Okay. This is a lot cleaner.
Better to make it just one piece instead of trying to having to do another one. Right?
Well, no, and if you stopped where the nib is supposed to stop, it'd be about right here.
Yeah.
And then it would go...
back like that.
Yeah.
Maybe a little tiny, be right.
You'd have a little...
So,
Like a TP.
yeah.
So that looks swell, Ollie.
All right. Well.
All right, what? Easy for you to say.
There you have it, folks.
But see, we got tons of material because we got this. So we can just simply cut this out first. That way we can salvage. We'll have plenty left. Gee, Ollie, that looks really swell. Aha.
Pretty good.
Wait a second. Ooh, got some epoxy there.
Box in there?
Yeah. Okay, so that nib has to end here. So it's a twin, just a little bit shorter. That would be the port side one. This one here. Rabbit comes in, stops right there. Perfect. I think. Yep. That way, when you rabbit the king plank, sorry, it goes like this. King plank rabbit comes in there. See it? How it ends in a logical place, sort of.
Okay. Sure, it'll make much more sense when we see it in action.
Yeah, well, let me just double check something here. Where do we want that thing? Okay. We're a little too long on this, which is fine. It's right there. This doesn't quite come in correct, so we need to be there. Oh. That means it'll work on the other side too. Because we're at that angle.
Yes.
That pulls the plank towards this one. So you don't just drill it straight, you wander around. Oh man, we got to redo them.
Gotta redo them. Looks good, guys.